everybody, I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps. Today I'm going to show you how to do this decorative 3-needle bind-off. To do a 3-needle bind-off, you're going to need 3 needles. The first 2 are usually going to be whatever is in your work already that you've been working with. For the 3rd needle, you don't need it to be very long. You can use a double-pointed needle, or in this case, I'm actually using a tip from a different set, from a different interchangeable set. If you don't have a 3rd needle that's the same size as the needles you've been knitting with, you can use one that's one size larger. So if you only have one set of each of the sizes, you can actually grab a needle that is the next size up and use that for your 3rd needle in your bind-off. The first step is to arrange the stitches on your needle. Generally, you're going to want the same number of stitches on each needle. Now in this case, I'm working in the round. This is the bottom of a purse that I'm going to join together with a 3-needle bind-off. So as long as I finish at one edge, and I know that this is my first stitch of the round, these stitches will pair off just fine. I've got an even number, so they'll pair off just fine down to the end, and I don't have to worry about separating them out individually. So let's get started with the bind-off. This is my working needle. These 2 that have all the stitches on them, these are my non-working needles. So I'm going to align all the stitches, at least at the tip, so that they line up in pairs on my non-working needles. Okay? Now I'm going to work through these stitches in pairs. So I'm going to knit through both of these 2 stitches together. So I insert to knit in both stitches, and then I knit those 2 together. It's just like a knit 2 together stitch, but you're taking one from each needle. Okay? Now I'm going to do that again. Now I have 2 stitches on my working needle. So I take the tip of one of my non-working needles and I pull this stitch off just like a normal bind-off, right? So I pulled it up and over the front stitch. Oops, I seem to have dropped a stitch. Okay, now let's do it again. Insert your needle into the front loop, just like you're going to knit, of each of these 2 stitches, and then knit them together. Okay, and then bind off one of the stitches on your working needle. All right, and try and keep your bind off nice and loose. This is where using a larger needle is actually helpful in getting a nice loose bind off. Okay, now do it again. Knit 2 together through both of these 2 needles. Okay. And then bind off one of the 2 stitches on your working needle. Knit 2 together. And bind off. And we're going to keep doing that all the way down to the end. I've taken enough stitches off of these needles now that it's getting tight in the back. So I'm going to just estimate, because I can always change it later, that this right here is in between the 2 pairs of stitches right there. Okay? And then I'm just going to push out a loop, kind of like making a magic loop, so that I can keep working to the ends of my needles. I'm down to my last few pairs, and you can see that I didn't quite get it right when I pulled out this loop, because I have 2 stitches on this needle and 4 stitches on this one. So let's go ahead and correct that. I'm going to pull this one needle all the way till everything's together, and then I'm going to find the right spot and put the loop back in again. And now I have 3 stitches on each of these needles. Let me pick up this one that I dropped while doing all that. There we go. And we can continue this bind off. I'm on my last pair. And then I can just fasten off as normal. These needles are empty, so I can set them aside. cut my yarn and pull it through. Now this bit of loose tension you can fix when you weave in the end, and blocking will actually fix it a little bit. All of the tension kind of gathers at the end when you do a bind off like this. So my bind off is finished, and you can see it creates this nice ridge at the bottom, which looks beautiful for the bottom of a purse. It gives it a nice finished edge. And that's how you do a 3-needle bind off. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, or leave me a comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great videos. Thanks for watching.